talking to him. Geez, I don't know.
The Jim and Terry Show in the Hobbit Hole studio with our coffee. And yeah, we're still on the theme of, is it credible? Is it credible? Meaning, what would it take to convince you that something like Disclosure Day was actual rather than a Spielberg fantasy film?
Well, disclosure. I think there's something out there, and I think maybe the time is coming. It will be revealed. But in saying that, I have my own experience, and I was telling you about it, and you said, "Well, why not share it?"
Right.
And I guess I can. I was coming back from I think it was my parents' 50th wedding anniversary with my wife. We're driving up 404, 11 o'clock at night, 12
This
at
is
night.
outside of Toronto.
Outside of Toronto. And we're heading up north. And then what caught my eye to the left, and it also caught my wife's eye, it actually caught the eye of everybody on the highway, was a bright light coming from the west. And it just, I don't know why, but it was so bright and low, very low and bright. And it was coming across. And then as it got to the highway, you could see it wasn't one light, it was four. And those four lights were perfect spheres with a halo around each one. And absolutely beautiful, if you want to know the truth. And just level as a level, no up, down, nothing, just straight as an arrow off.
No stuttering, no
nothing,
glitching, just smooth line.
It almost seemed like 100 feet off the ground, but it was probably 1,000, you know. But it went right till you couldn't see it no more to the east and gone. And it was, I was telling you, it was like a surveying thing. The whole highway pulled over. Everybody on the highway pulled over.
Was it a busy highway at the time?
Yes, there was quite a number of cars. It was 11 o'clock at night or something. And there was, I remember a lot of cars.
Pulling over.
Yeah, pulling over. And my wife kind of lost it. She was like, what do they want, you know, type thing. And I said, well, they don't want us, so don't worry about it. And now they're gone, whatever they were, right? And so there was these wonderful aerial, unidentified flying things that went in front of us. And again, beautiful. So I called the OPP. And the OPP said, no reports. I said, the whole highway pulled over and there was no reports of this. All as far as you can see from the west, as far as you can see from the east, and nobody has reported it.
That's funny because you then become the one vehicle in that entourage, that traffic
one who reported
of
it.
the 404 to
Yeah.
report it out of, let's suppose, hundreds.
Yeah,
would probably
there was
be.
hundreds, probably
Yeah.
hundreds of people.
So what does that say about people who report things then? They're the vast minority, like a very...
Maybe, or they had a lot of reports, they just didn't know what to do with it.
Well, they didn't want to tell you that they
Yeah.
had hundreds.
But funny enough, he had the number of a military commander or something. So I can't remember if I called him or if he said, I'll get him to call you. I can't remember which that
Right.
was. But within minutes, I was on the phone to a military guy. And I told him the story. And he asked me a few questions. He said, how, you know, if you held a coin out at arm's length, out and between your fingers, what size coin would be the size of those things that you saw? And I can't remember what I said. Probably said a nickel, maybe a dime. I can't remember. And then he said one word to describe. And I said, angelic. And he was a little bit taken back by his voice. Angelic? I said, well, they were this sphere which had a halo around. Each one, there was four of them, and they all had a halo around
So the
them.
halo would make it a criteria for angelic
Yeah, well, just what...
or divine or
Yeah,
something.
it just hit my mind. I'm not saying it was at all, but if you want one word, that's how beautiful it was to me.
Right.
It was really beautiful.
So you didn't feel threatened?
I didn't feel threatened. My wife totally lost it.
Yeah, she was creeped
Yeah,
out.
she was creeped out. So I phoned my parents as soon as I got home and told them what I had seen, and that was fine and dandy. Well, after I talked to the military and everybody. So the next day, there's a report on the news, finally. And this what I saw came from the west to the east.
Right.
And they said, oh, what you saw last night was a Russian satellite falling out of orbit
For
from the
unique-
east to the west. So number one, I've seen things burn up in the atmosphere, and they don't go in four perfect things, 500 feet off the ground, not going up, not going down, just as if they're surveilling something right clear across. So I knew that wasn't right, and it was the wrong direction. But my wife at the time, she said, oh, that's it. That was it. That was it. That's it. That's it. I said,
Because it made sense to her mind.
well, she wanted it shut off. It
Yep.
scared her.
Yep.
Because it was that unusual. You knew it wasn't an airplane. You knew it wasn't planes. You knew it was something you have never, ever seen before or imagined. Now, I don't know what it was. I have no idea. But it's a good memory for me. It didn't scare me. But I'm saying things are out there. That's a UFO thing that I saw. Now, a lot of people can make all kinds of reasons of what it was, but I still got it in my mind.
Yes.
Right? I still have it. I still have the event, what took place, how it looked, and the cars pulling over and everything. And it was interesting, really
What make
interesting.
and model of car were you driving?
Oh, I'm thinking probably a Chrysler, little Chrysler.
A K car?
Yeah, I'm thinking that, but I don't know for sure. Not a K car, no. There was, I had at one time a little station wagon, mini station wagon, small. Might have been that. I can't remember the car I was in.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So
it was interesting.
What do we make of all this stuff then for Disclosure Day and how people are going to receive it? If there is a Disclosure Day, is Spielberg, like the Hollywood movie industry, prepping us for something?
Well, isn't it funny? Because a lot of people think what's coming is just going to be AI. They're doing it for some reason. I don't know what that reason really could be. I don't think so. I think it is possible, though, that what's coming they're going to say is AI.
Well,
And everybody's going, that's
yeah.
it. That's what it is. Someone did that. It wasn't really something else.
So that's your ex,
Yeah.
your wife's point of
Yeah.
view was to assuage her conscience and
Yeah.
give her relief from the uncertainty.
Yeah. And
Okay.
so you can sleep at night.
Yeah,
nothing there. Nothing here to see.
Wow.
Right? But I won't. It'd be great to have that all justified someday. You know, I
Mm-hmm.
wish we had a big syndicated thing, and all of a sudden the phone starts ringing. I was there. I saw that.
Yeah, pick up the phone, Jim. There's a live one listening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, others saw it, and so there would have been probably 100 people anyway.
Do you know anyone in your circle? This would be your religious circle and or your community circle who have seen or willing to talk about their own experiences.
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know if they've seen anything like that. I'm not sure. Yeah.
How do you think you would be received if you said from the podium?
Well, if I said it from the podium, which I won't, never would do, not going to do it. But if I did, I mean, I'd tell my pastor the story for sure. I probably have. But if I said it from the pulpit, I'd probably start by saying, I'm a devoted Christian. My belief is in God Almighty, et cetera, and confirm that I'm not thinking these are anything
Yeah,
to worship.
right.
But I'd also explain that I have no idea what they are.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're interdimensional. I don't know if they're alien. I don't know what they are because I only saw vehicles of some kind. And if you want, say that was AI back 35, 40 years ago. You know, say that was AI if you want. I don't care. That's what I saw. I do believe that God did not tell us everything about everything in the universe. I don't think he's told us everything about everything in heaven, you know, and we already have to admit we haven't discovered everything on this planet. Mm-hmm. So why wouldn't there be? You know what I mean? Like, I have no problem with that at all.
Yeah.
And they may have a whole completely different setup. They may not need redemption. You know what I mean? They're just good and happy beings. I have no idea. But the point is, there's something there. I am convinced 100%. There's something there. Will I see the day it's exposed? Maybe I'll regret it if I do.
Well, here's the thing. You and I are not young bucks anymore.
Yeah.
We're long in the tooth. So will it be within our lifetime that you see a Disclosure Day event?
I get a feeling November something's going to happen.
Oh, to prevent the election in the United States?
Not necessarily, but that probably would help.
That's a good subplot. Spielberg,
Yeah.
if you're listening.
Trump would probably take that and gear it up and say, well, we're being invaded by Mars or something, and so we can't have an election during this. But
Or they landed in Canada. We have to go get them.
But I do have a feeling. I don't know, and I can't nail it. I'm not alone. There's others who feel that way too.
We did do a couple of podcasts a few podcasts ago last week when we recorded. You suggested that there were others who had this Stranger Things vibe.
Yeah.
So you're still convinced that there is
Yeah.
a Stranger
and
Thing.
not someone I see every day too.
And you think it's related to Disclosure Day or something political and something war spreading or Russia or nukes
I kind
or
of thought this
something?
before Disclosure Day, maybe. Because Disclosure Day has been advertised for like
A long
2
time.
years.
Yeah.
So I can't say definitely that I'm not just being influenced by this. But things are getting so strange in the political world and in the earth, and it just seems to me like something's due. I'm sure I'm not the only one in in generations past that thought this has got to be it. I'm sure all the Holocaust people were thinking this must be the end of the world as we know it. It can't get any darker than this.
That's right.
And so I'm not saying this is a prophecy, but I just got a gut feeling, and my feeling is November. Maybe because of all the things that are coming together, the primary, which I don't believe is going to happen, and on and on and on, just manifesting itself in my emotions. Knowing my life, it'll come and go. It'll just be November.
Yeah, I'm sort of with it. It'll come and go. It'll just be November. Thing. I'm not feeling any vibes. I'm not feelings, nothing more than feelings. The Jim and Terry Show, sometimes it all comes down to how you feel about something.
And it's quite complicated.
It is very complicated. Like my coffee. Bye-bye for now.
Bye, everyone.
It's complicated, this relationship I have with my morning coffee. It's from the way that I